Hi, everyone. In today's training, we're going to be talking about crafting a dynamic marketing plan. So it doesn't matter what market you're in, your marketing plan is flexible, it can progress with you. And with the constant change that's happening in our market, you're able to withstand your brand throughout all that. And the reason why I want to keep this short, brief, and I want to get to the point. And a lot of it you're going to hear from this is going to be principle, strategy that you can really apply it to wherever you are in your journey and in your career and where your brand is. So let's get started. I want to give a quick introduction to who I am so you have a little bit of context. My name is Tharmila Rajasingam. I'm also a real estate agent with EXP Realty. I'm a team leader. I have about 70 agents in my group that I work with closely on a weekly basis, and I love our EXP family. I'm a marketer that turned realtor. I actually worked in marketing for over 13 plus years, over a decade, and primarily in consulting. And I wrote over about 100 to 150 marketing plans a year. I know it's hard to believe, but I used to have a large line of businesses that I worked on. I started off working in government, and I worked with a number of not for profit and also some private brands as well. So I come from that space, and so when I transferred to real estate and I started working with EXP, I had this privilege of now working with realtors. So, and as you see, I'm able to teach in lots of different, uh, you know industries because of marketing principles, because they don't change. Well, they shift depending on the life and the face it takes, depending on the brands and the products and services you serve. So I hope you're able to adapt some of this to your own business as well. I work really closely with some agents here as well, in terms of KB Core Peer Coaching. I'm a KB Core Peer Coach inside real estate, so I'm a big champion when it comes to CRMs, technology, and tools. And those are things you can adapt, and make sure that they're part of your business. And I'll touch on that a little bit in this presentation. And I found my own marketing company as well, and specifically for a real estate professional. And I have this a platform that I co-founded called Karovi Social. Is a social media content platform. And and you'll see me, the way a lot of my content is driven in strategy and principle is because I'm also an instructor for a college, and I teach digital marketing, and it's a passion for me. I'm a big believer in the power of your brand. And so let's talk about putting together a marketing plan. And I'm going to keep it super simple, and I'm going to dive into strategy here, and stay with me. And building a marketing plan, and really you can craft something even super simple. And I know when I talk about a marketing plan, a lot of real estate agents, they get really nervous about it because they think it's going to be 10, 20 pages long. And it doesn't have to be. Even if you put something down in paper that is even a pager, that you have a clear guideline of where you want your business to go, because a marketing plan is really providing a clear direction. It helps you target the right audience group, and that's what I really want to talk about today, is identifying your audience and making sure you're speaking to your customers through the right messaging, and really helping you build your brand awareness and able to build your database and generate those leads. And this will give you a competitive edge, making sure that we all know in every market there's thousands of agents we're competing with. So how do you set yourself apart? And really, the marketing plan that I want to touch on today, it's really about making sure it's targeted. And remember, whatever you don't manage and you don't measure, you can manage. So it's really about making sure that the plan that you're putting together is targeted, but in turns is measurable as well. And when you're putting together your marketing plan, think about it, a business goal that you're looking to go after. And it could be a combination of these, or it could be primarily one item that you want to focus on for a certain period of time. So you might adapt a certain marketing tactics to support that, and your content will look a little different. You can run campaigns, and maybe it's to increase your brand awareness in your marketplace. Maybe it's for lead generation. You just want to focus on building your database, bringing in as many people as possible, but driving traffic. Maybe it's about increasing community engagement. Maybe you want to get out there and really put some pillars into your farming strategy. Maybe again, it's about web traffic, or you want to bring more people to your Instagram, your Facebook. So something more granular that you're able to track, so that you can really drive this and bring on some measurements and analytics through content. And One of the things that I want to touch on when we talk about marketing plan, there's always a confusion because I was talking to another agent more recently, and they said to me, "Oh well, Dharmila, you talk a lot about lead generation. Are you do you do any prospecting at all?" And I know that you work in marketing, but do you work in any prospecting? And it threw me off a little bit because sometimes agents get so caught up in terminology that when you're working on the marketing, which is really the overarching thing, is the way you communicate with clients. So and that personal branding also gets lost. So I just wanted to identify the both. And if you caught my training just before this, I actually recorded another training on building a powerful personal brand. You can catch that full training on EXP Realty's YouTube channel, where you found this. So make sure you go check that out because there's lots of principles in there. If especially if you're looking to create that, because I recommend you look at those first before you coming to your marketing plan and crafting how you communicate with your clients. So remember, personal branding is and personal brand is who you are, and branding is the activity of branding yourself. It's your identity, your character of your business. So making sure that the marketing aspect of it, this marketing plan that you're putting together, is how you build that brand awareness, taking that market, that personal brand that you built, and getting it out to the market, getting in front of your audience. So maybe that tactics, those activities that are going to help you achieve those business objectives that you've aligned here, whether it be, again, lead generation, whether it be just that brand awareness, and making sure that you are that go-to agent in your marketplace. Let's touch on a little bit about identifying that target audience, because in the marketing plan, you'll notice I'm really touching on very key aspect today, and that's identifying your target audience. Because trust me, if I'm going to teach you about marketing as a whole, I'll be sitting here for a couple of hours. So I want to be very thoughtful in my approach here. So let's talk about identifying, because I realized, speaking to a lot of agents, and I've trained over thousands of agents now, and I'm getting an understanding that a lot of agents, we go out and we just put out content and think that something would stick and someone would grab onto them, whether it be our sphere, someone in our market, maybe those moms, maybe those people that I went to school with, maybe these people, instead of really thinking about who am I as a brand and who could I serve, and then how could I be of service to this group of audience, and what content is relevant to them. So it's really important that you're really looking at, really, when you're identifying your target audience, think about that demographic group. Who do I relate to? And special characteristic of a particular population, maybe the age and gender and income, education level. And I know, and I get it, you're looking at me thinking like, well, that's discrimination. You don't want to, you want, the fair housing, Facebook ads, there's lots of policing and lots of red tape around how you build your brand. But at the end of the day, if you want to step back a little bit, and in building your strategy, you're really trying to build a persona of somebody that you can relate to. That, remember, because we're not just talking about a particular product here, we're talking about a service that you provide as a realtor, your personal brand. So you want to really relate to a group of people, demographics that have some sort of connection to what you're doing, and that is where it's going to take you to the next level, because then you can produce content that is really personable, that is really relevant, and it's relatable at the end of the day. And I think that's where a lot of missing connection is, when we're not creating content that is relatable. So think about it from that perspective. Maybe in education, maybe you come from teaching, maybe I have an agent whose partner, they're in the military, so she's a military spouse. She was trying to create content that is fitting. I have an agent who came from a background in legal and probates, and now she's a realtor, and she's trying to bring that into her current business. You see where I'm getting at? And I have another agent, and I love, you can look up his content, Switch. He's a realtor, a retired chief firefighter in Cape Coral, Florida. And he has an amazing, in 6 to 7 months, he built an impressive TikTok account, and even on YouTube, he had over 30 to 40,000 followers only, and he wasn't doing anything different. He was just sharing who he is, and about his beloved community, Cape Coral. And for him, he's very specialized because he lived in that area, but he was also a fire chief. And who doesn't know a neighborhood more than a firefighter, right? They drive around constantly, daily. So now when he's a realtor, he has this privilege that he can now, and this information that he doesn't. That's another thing, folks. If you're transitioning careers, like, look at me, I'm coming from a marketing space, and now I have the privilege of using those strategy to elevate my business here in real estate. You can do the same. So now people like Ken, who work in Cape Coral. Now you've lived in that community all these years and you have this experience as a firefighter. Now you can share that because that brand doesn't go away and that's part of your way of life. And now you can connect with all these people that have known you as a chief, as a firefighter. Now you can share all these cool, tricks and secrets and things that people might not know about when they're moving to Cape Coral, Florida. So again, when you can be relatable, it takes it to the next level. And again, psychographics are really important to, you know, consumer behavior, looking at people's lifestyles, their value, their interests. And, these are what's going to really connect and making sure that your ideal clients are really meant for you. And trust me, I don't know about you, but I'm that person because I'm super spiritual and I'm very, I'm psychological in that sense. I'm always thinking about everything's meant to be. And so you'll notice when you start to work with your clients, there's just an immediate connection there, and it's because of your personality, your brand, and it's a it's a law of attraction, and you're attracting these people, and it works in strategies as well when you're building your marketing plan. And if you can get it to that level, you hit the jackpot when it comes to planning out your and putting together your marketing plan. So determine your niche, a small, specialized segment of the population, their interests, their lifestyles that you can again connect with in it, and you can really build a narrative around and share stories. And you're probably wondering, okay, I'm a new realtor or I've been in this space and who could I really go after? And this is a great one. If you have a phone right now and you want to take a picture of and make a note of a couple of segment groups that you want to go after, here's some examples of what I'm talking about. Look at this. First time home buyers. Maybe you purchased your home for the first time. I've spoken to a lot of realtors, and you might be one of them, where you buy your first home and then you realize, oh my goodness, I love this. I want to get into real estate. And if that's you, amazing. Now you can start to service first time home buyers, and every content you do is going to target it. It's going to be measurable towards this audience group, and you can start to create content that is very direct. And the reason why you could be posting all day long but you're not growing your business is because your content isn't targeted to the right audience group. So maybe it's luxury, maybe it's investors, like for me and my husband Josh. If you gone into our social media and all our business pages, you'll see him in it because we're a domestic team here at EXP, and we were investors who actually became realtors. So now we share a lot of content about investing in Ontario, and now we're Canadians investing in the US. So we talk about those kind of content. And maybe you're a mom. And one of the other things that I share on my Instagram, you'll notice, is that I live in downtown Toronto, in the city. I live and I have young children. I live right beside the Rogers Center and the CN Tower, and it's unique. And a lot of people wonder, and they've messaged me and asked me, hey, what is it like to live there? Is there anything for school? And I've mentioned this many times in my trainings because it's a very real story. And maybe it's military housing, like I mentioned earlier. Maybe it's commercial. Maybe it's vacation, second home. And the other, I love this, is an ever growing community. It's 55 plus and senior housing. You can even get a specialized certification for this. I have an agent in Canada who has this as well, and they have it in the US, these programs as well. So maybe you look into that if that's of interest to you, because you need to have a different lens when you're looking at properties like that, and it has to be accessible to that community. And I brought him onto my YouTube channel. You can actually check it out on my YouTube channel, where I'm, for my real estate, the one that I have it with Josh and I, Tharmila Rajasingam. And you'll notice the questions he's answering, my agent, about the 55 plus community and how he helps them is a very different process to it. So again, if that's of interest to you, hey, go for it. Now you can start to create content that's applicable to that audience group. Maybe it's student housing, maybe it's pet friendly, maybe it's LGBTQ plus community, maybe it's boating, waterfront, maybe it's condo living, maybe it's probates, like one of my agents in North Carolina is doing, maybe it's religious, cultural, sports activity, maybe it's land. So maybe it's singles, a new build, right? So figure out what that niche is and what's that community. Maybe it can be a combination. You can do, you can be servicing veterans or moms that are looking for condo living. You can be looking at investors who are looking only at land deals. You can be a 55 plus community that are looking at new build, and or just investors who are in that 55 plus community. So really taking it up to a notch about how you want to service folks and how you can relate to them. And it's really going to enhance your content and how you show up every day. So you're probably wondering, okay, so now how do I bring this to life? And how do I build out this online presence? And how do you set up to launch? So make sure you have a professional website. And we don't have to complain about that because we're at EXP and we are super fortunate enough to have KV Core, a full encompassing website IDX technology that's connected to your CRM. So you have that foundation already given to you. Go ahead and activate that, set that up. I have a training coming on here where I'm going to teach you how to really activate and set up your KV Core. So, and I have a lot of free videos on my YouTube channel too, which I'll show you in a second that you can go and check out, especially if you are quite far along or if you got your license already and you're kind of really launching your brand. And identify long form and short form platforms. Do I want to be on Facebook? Do I want to be on Instagram? Do I want to be on both? Maybe you want to have a YouTube channel, your long form content. And when I list all these out, and yes, I have profile in many of these platforms, not only because I teach it about those platform, but I also have assistants that help me out. But if you don't have that infrastructure and you're starting out for the first time, you might not want to create a profile on all of these because you see other realtors in your marketplace do that. Keep in mind, you rather be active in one or two platform consistently than be not active at all and be present and have a presence on an account on all of the platforms. So keep that in mind, your capacity, especially when you're starting out. Just a tidbit that I wanted to share there. So again, get your website and IDX set up and then your social media content and start to post those so it can come to life, because why not take advantage of that? And any other marketing tactics you're going to do, whether it be door knocking, whether it be, direct marketing, whether it be out of market marketing to attract, relocations, whatever marketing tactics and strategies and activities you end up doing, or lead generation prospecting method you pick up, remember, your website is the nucleus. Your CRM is there, your IDX, you have lead capture in place, so that you're not doing all these wonderful work of building your brand, but you're not capturing any leads or contacts so that you can follow up. So a couple of tidbits along marketing branding that I want to touch on is: think about a consistent profile name. Think about having a proper handle and bio. Making sure they're all consistent across the board and having a lead capture in place. And like I mentioned, if you want to take advantage of a social media content planner, you can check out Kuruvi.social as well. There's going to give you daily post strategies done for you as well. And then now I'm going to talk about my favorite part where you can connect with me. You can find me inside. If you're an EXP agent, you know what to do. Go inside the workplace. You can look me up in the chat box and message me there. Or you can find me on Instagram, Tharmila Rajasingam. You can see my husband's profile as well. I share content for realtors as well. As you can see here, I was sharing some content about EXP University. So lots of our free trainings and webinars and any content that I share, even some of the content that's going to come up here on EXP University, EXP Realty's YouTube channel, or a level up sessions, I always share when they get launched as well. So connect with me, message me if you have any questions. And as always, I have a ton of free content on my YouTube channel around marketing, lead generation, KV Core. I have over 180 videos, I believe, or maybe 190 now by the time of recording this. Ton of strategies, ton of content in there. You can watch them, lots of tutorials. So subscribe, make sure you're connected with me there. And if you have any questions at all, you can always leave it in the comment section of this video as well. I'll be happy to answer them. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, it's a pleasure to be on this channel. So I'm so glad that you were able to tune in. So thank you. And as always, if you have any questions at all, you know where to reach me.